Hi everyone, it's Kasia from Tarot Map, and this is the August favorites video. I will share a few decks with you which I was using a lot in August and which I loved. I will share a few books with you and also a few crystals. Let's start with the books, shall we? I knew that I was going away off grid to nature, so I did come back to some of my favorite herbal books, and if you don't know those books, I really highly recommend them because first of all, they're cool to read. They're not just those dry, herbal books. You get like stories and a lot of information, but which is written in such a way that it's interesting for you to kind of read. Obviously, these are not books that you read from A to Z, but when I was walking around and recognizing herbs, I loved reading those extra information. So this is Opening Our Wild Hearts to the Healing Herbs by Gail Faith Edwards. And as I said, this you have like a lot of herbs here, and she gives you description about the herbs, Latin name, and describes her own experience, how she uses the herb, and gives you some idea and some recipes like how you can actually use it and what you can do with it. So it's very cool and it's very beautifully written, like it's really opens your wild heart. Another one is my herbal teacher. It's The Healing Wise by Susan Weed, and this book is a must. I mean, this book first of all describes a lot what healing is all about, and basically breaks with the idea that to be healed you have to be free of illness. It breaks with the idea that you have to get rid of the disease or chuck something out of you, like go for chemo and destroy the disease. She actually goes from the perspective of the wise woman that if you want to heal, you've got to strengthen yourself. You've got to, rather than focus on killing and destroying and getting rid of, or basically being at war with yourself, because the disease is you as well, you go from strengthening what works, giving boost to your immune system, nurturing yourself, making yourself stronger. Can you see how that changes the perspective of being also empowered to heal yourself and being empowered to embrace, it's like light and shadow. So this book is wonderful. And because I studied with Susan, so I got the signed copy for 2011, long time ago. I did only a correspondence course, the ABC of Herbs, I think. And she used to send you some books with it. I don't know if she does it anymore, but she describes the traditions of healing, wise woman tradition, heroic, scientific, and how a wise woman tradition varies from the heroic and scientific. And then she describes a few herbs only and tells you how you can use them. And they're very popular herbs. You can collect them yourself. You can make tinctures, and you have a lot of different recipes here and stuff like this. So this book is amazing. I'm glad I went back to it. And then another of my favorites is Juliette de Baracli-Levy, and I also got to know her from Susan. And this book, I have a few of her books. Nature's Children is such an amazing book. This woman was amazing, and she loved gypsies and she learned from gypsies a lot. But this one is basically like alphabetical description of herbs and how you can use them and what you can do. So but it's very simple and it's very experiential, because she was just a master herbal woman. So these books on herbalism were like my companion in August. And from crystals, I got a new skull, and it's pink aragonite. I don't know if you can see her teeth. It's a bit cute. I call her grandmother, but I think maybe she will give me her name or not soon. We'll see. I wanted a skull that has feminine energy, because I've got two skulls that are, to me, masculine in a way. I know it doesn't matter in like spirit world really, but somehow I can identify better with those, jewel things. So she, the pink grandmother, reminds me a little bit of Gaia or Kuan Yin energy. I wanted something soft and feminine and nurturing and loving and kind. And because of the skew teeth, she kind of felt like a grandmother, so we'll see. And I also am waiting for one Labradorite skull, which has a little kind of chip around the eye. I knew it, but I bought it anyway, and I think this is my Mary Magdalene skull, but we'll see, it hasn't arrived yet. So that's the pink aragonite, and I got it from scullies.com. And this is the oldest skull that I have. It's the Mayan skull. It's clear quartz with like tourmalines, golden tourmalines. And I remember I bought it because of the golden tourmaline right on his mouth, and I wanted to practice golden speech. Still a big area to practice, but this skull's name was Mitch in the beginning, but recently I went to this crystal congress, and I had an amazing experience with this skull when I don't know if you can see, but it's a little bit broken here around the eye, because I took it to Thailand a few years ago, and it actually, I slept with it in a little bag under my pillow, but it fell down, and that's when this chip happened. And somehow afterwards I just kind of let it be. We didn't play together too much, and after that congress I had like a dream or vision with this skull, and it kind of applied that it should be called Chiron, which is funny because when I opened my tarot map shop on Etsy, one of the readings that I do is the Chiron reading, and it's quite a popular reading, and I also use the Chiron information in my life purpose reading because it's very important, in my opinion, to know about your Chironic story. So Chiron was a wounded healer, and somehow everything just like fell into place, that like his wound was in some way inspiring to me, opening that shop, doing this, focusing even on Chiron. That was kind of done subconsciously, but like the synchronicity of this kind of events, and then this information kind of like coming through me, that Chiron, the skull, was kind of like preparing me in some weird way for doing this work. So this is now one of my most treasured skulls and teachers and friends, and this is Chiron. So yeah, I've been playing a lot with this skull. And another skull which I took with me to the trip is Or. I call him Or, and he's very talkative and very like Martian, very solar plexus. It's tiger's eye skull. Both of these skulls were connected to a great grid of the crystal skulls. This one to Sebastian's, a Polish guy who is a skull carrier, and he has a lot of skulls and who does a lot of amazing work with them. And this one from Desiree, she's from Holland, and she also does a lot of work with crystal skulls. So these two are now kind of empowering my other skulls that I buy myself, because these ones were bought from these people. And so Ur went with me, and he walked up all the mountain tops. I was carrying it with me, and I just felt like, you know, I'm going to like charge you up even more with strength and with power. And walking up the mountains, you know, you kind of get tired, but you can do it, and then it's amazing at the peaks. It's really exciting. So always, you know, walking with me. And I also loved this apophyllite stone. I love that it's double terminated. It's really beautiful growth, and to me it was like, you know, like the spirit grows in all directions, which is just like wonderful stone. And this one I had for a long time as well, but I just, you know, keep feeling drawn to different stones at different times. There's still this little wand which is available, but I did play with it. It comes with frogmouth's feather and this amazing quartz which has like to me it's like overcoming the shadow, or like integrating the shadow, maybe better, because it's integrated in the stone, in the kind of few side walls of the quartz, but then some of them don't have the dark like mineral inclusion. And then there's this little face and like a malachite brain, just really cool. So this little thing is still available if anyone feels like drawn to it. It's like a double wand, but yeah, mostly use it the quartz way. And I call it imagination because it's very kind of brainstormy, integrating, and kind of like you have a lot of ideas and then you integrate it, and there is always like black and white, you know, nothing is ever straight. So yeah, so this wand was also there. Okay, let's move on to the decks. I really loved playing with this inner child cards, they called, by Isha Lerner, and they're just beautiful, colorful, they're very childlike. All the major arcanas have fairy tales attached to them, which is lovely. And then and there is like wands have different frame, you know, and different story. And so here's the Rapunzel, which is the tower. It's beautiful, and I love the book and just the descriptions of the cards. So I was enjoying this deck. It was giving me some solace and nurturing when I was feeling a bit recently. I also was using the Mother Piece Tarot. I have the mini version, which I love. It's very cute. It's round. I think everybody knows this deck. And I have a book to it, and I love the book. It also lets you play with all the 4 positions which you can get. So you can get the straight one, the reversed one, the one when you kind of overdo things, and one when you know, like kind of need to do a little bit more work to get it to the straight position. I love this Judgment card. Yeah, so the Mother Piece Tarot, very femme, but also very shamanic, very earthy, and kept me kind of grounded and real. I used for quite a few readings the Sasuraibito Tarot. I love this deck. I don't use reversals with it. It reads really well, despite the, you know, kind of Asian vibe to it, because I know not everybody will be like fan of it, but it's such a great reader. It's simple. Some of the cards are so beautiful. People seem to respond really well to it too. Like it kind of, they get what the cards are saying quite easily. They connect to the images. So I think that's success for a creator of a deck. So yeah, Sasuraibito Tarot, I use it often for readings because it's not threatening, it's kind of quite neutral. I took with me for the trip Devas of Creation deck, and I love this deck so much. I think it's going to be one of my favorite oracles, alongside the Weaver's Oracle. It's really beautiful. It's abstract, but when you start kind of getting to know those devas, and I use the booklet quite a lot with this deck still, because I can remember all the names of the cards, but I got most of them, but they're beautiful and they give you such a different type of reading. It's kind of earthy shamanism slash, like David universal spirituality. It has a lot of dark cards too, which is lovely because it has this beautiful mix of life energy, so it's not just all fluffy pink, all its love and light. It's got planetary and natural elemental energies cards, angelic minerals. Kind of, it covers all energies in the universe. And love this deck. It's very deep and very inspirational. So if you haven't played yet, it's by Sheila Conway. You can, I got it from her website, directly from her website. And another deck that I took with me to my trip was the Tarot of the She by Emily Carding. I did trim the sides of my cards. They came with like big black borders, but I prefer them this way and it's easy to use. I love the keywords of this deck, and I love this deck. It's a very cool deck to take with you to nature. It's a very specific deck. I don't think I've used it for readings for other people, maybe for friends at some point, just like for playing, but I love to use it for myself. And it's an interesting deck. Just awakens my imagination as well, so it's very cool. And it was good fun to have it in nature because it's kind of easy to connect to. And another deck that I used a lot in August and kind of felt like I came back to my old love because it was my first deck ever, was the Osho Zen Tarot. And this deck is very special and I love the booklet. I think my version is still the vintage version or the old version because I got it in 2001, so it's definitely like 16 years old now. And there's one card that I unfortunately got destroyed, so it's like I put it together with the sticky tape. But other than that, it holds up really well, and I have used this deck a lot. Like you can, I did edge it, but it doesn't look very good. I have to repeat it. So anyway, this deck, it's one of my very trusted friends, and I used it in August for readings and for myself. And I have to say that this is still a very beautiful, very kind of true deck, because it has a lot of shadow cards too, but it has this spiritual edge which makes it, like understand that, it's not like don't get hung up on this. Let's have a bigger perspective. And I love this deck for that. So I think that's it. I also, yes, I was using, as I said, there's one more oracle deck, and also this 282 Tarot by Joe, and also Piotr's decks, Tarot of Marseille. I always use them in tarot readings for clients. And I also use quite a lot the Earthbound Oracle. I use them with weavers, also weavers, but I put them aside now. The Weaver's Oracle I used a lot in August too. And with this oracle, that looks good. So these little cats too. Okay, so bye bye. That was my August favorites. I hope you enjoyed it, and I speak to you soon. Bye.